Good morning. Welcome to another episode of DunnWisdom Morning Show. I am Melissa P. Dunn, CEO of MD Marketing Network and the founder of this DunnWisdom movement. So we are back on track, y'all. And today we are kicking off another success tip series. This time we are focusing on how to get unstuck. Let me tell you, we know that success and failure begins in the mind, right? You have heard me say that so many times on this show. And this time, I'm going to give you some tips to help you to get unstuck. I'm going to show you how to leverage the creation process to crush your goals, right? So this series is called 4 Ways to Get Unstuck and Crush Your Goals. This is part 1 of that series. So as always, I started with a quote, and this one is from Nelson Mandela, Mr. Mandela, Madiba. Madiba said, "A winner is a dreamer who never gives up." So let me ask you today, what are your dreams? What is it that you are praying for? What is it that you're believing God for? What is it that you want to create in your life? What is it that you want to not only create in your life, but create in your family's life, in your business, in your health? What is that big dream, that one thing that you know that you have to accomplish, that you get to accomplish before you leave this earth? Take Madiba's advice, take Mr. Nelson Mandela's advice, and never give up, right? So you've heard me say that success and failure starts in the mind. It's really, really, really a part of the journey. Feeling overwhelmed, feeling stuck, feeling tired, feeling fear. That's part of the creation process. That's part of how every person that's ever accomplished a big dream have felt those exact emotions at some point. The key is to feel what you feel, recognize it, and move beyond it, right? So that it can then become something that propels you forward instead of holding you back and keeping you stuck. So today I'm going to share with you 4 ways to get unstuck. Let me actually switch that so you can see what the 4 ways are. There we go. 4 ways to get unstuck. And those 4 ways are: leverage the creation process to work for you instead of against you. Focus on developing positive habits. Transform your environment for success. And release resistance, right? Those are the 4 ways to get unstuck. And so today I'm going to handle way number 1, which is leverage the creation process to work for you instead of against you. And over the next 4 weeks, we'll cover the remaining 2 ways to get unstuck, right? So for part 1, leverage the creation process to work for you instead of against you. Now, really, I broke part 1 down into 4 segments. Number 1, decide how you're going to play the game. Number 2, commit to the process. Number 3, map out your own personal creation process. And number 4, reverse engineer your creation process, okay? So I'm going to show you how to get those things done in this episode, part 1 of the series. I'm going to show you how to accomplish that in part 1 of the series. So let's dive in to way number 1 for part 1 on how to leverage the creation process to work for you instead of against you. So here's the creation process. Let me review it for you again. If you've been following me for a while, you've heard me talk about this process from day number 1, right? So the process is that your thoughts, remember, I said success and failure begins in your mind. Your thoughts trigger your emotions. And your emotions inspire your actions, which then produces your results. So it's thoughts, emotions, actions, results. Always. That's how we create things in our lives. Whether you're looking to create a business, whether you're looking to create a better relationship with your employees, better relationship with your family, better health, whatever it is that you're looking to create in your life, this is the formula. Thoughts, your thoughts trigger your emotions influence your actions, and your actions produce your results, right? So let me give you an example. I'm working on a really big, huge project, right? And so yesterday, I was feeling overwhelmed and I was feeling stuck. And the thoughts that produced that emotion was, oh my gosh, this is too big. What if, you hear the negative Nancy voice coming in now, what if I bit off more than I can chew? I've already told the whole world that I'm going to do this. What if I can't get it done? And so when I had these thoughts, the emotional response that it produced was overwhelm and fear and worry and anxiety. And those emotions actually manifested physically because I had such a huge migraine headache yesterday that I literally stopped working. Well, I mean, sometimes I work till late in the night, but I stopped working like around 5 or 6 o'clock yesterday. Could not continue. And I had a migraine. So I did what I'm going to teach you to do today. I just released it. I released it and watched some Hallmark movies, felt better. I did, however, eat a bag of Lay's potato chips, the baked kind, right? So that was the action. That was the action. I ate a bag of Lay's potato chips, which of course the results that would have produced if I didn't, if I continued on that path would be weight gain, which is completely out of alignment with what I say that I want for my life, right? So thoughts, emotions, and emotions actually sometimes manifest itself physiologically. Like for me, the physiological sign that I am having negative emotion is I sometimes feel like my throat is closing up and sometimes my shoulder gets tense. So check in with your body. If you have some sort of physiological reaction, like a tense shoulder, pain in your back, maybe your throat feels tight, then you are experiencing some sort of negative emotion, and it's time for you to check in with yourself and figure out what really created that, right? So I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer that piece in a minute. But this is the creation process, y'all. So I want you to really own the fact that every single thing in your life, every result that you are experiencing in your life began with a thought. Every success, every failure began with a thought, all right? That's why being in touch with our mindset is so critical to our success. So the second thing I need you to do if you're going to leverage this creation process is I need you to decide how you're going to play the game, right? A lot of times we are going through life kind of haphazardly. A lot of times we're not really getting the results that we want. That's because we haven't made up our mind. We have not decided to commit. We have not decided to do whatever it takes, no matter what, to produce the result that we're praying for. Right? So I need you to decide. I need you to commit. I need you to make a covenant with yourself on how you're going to play this game called life. Are you going to just allow the wind to blow you any which way without any anchor, without any thoughts, without any clear intention? Or are you going to set your intention? Are you going to decide? Are you going to say, all right, God, it's me and you. Let's get this thing done. Let's create this thing together. Because otherwise, you won't ever really get to where you want to get to. You might get there, but it's going to be with a whole bunch of struggle, a whole bunch of start, a whole bunch of stops, right? So the first thing you got to do is decide on how you're going to play the game. Now, there are a couple of levels of commitments, and I'm going to go through that in another episode. I think I covered that before in a previous episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find that episode there. But there are a couple of levels of commitments, right? So the commitment level that I want you to think about having as you look to manifest your dreams and crush your goals is I want you to have a level 7 commitment, meaning that you know that you are the source, right? Meaning that you know that you're going to do this thing no matter what. You're going to get it done or you're going to die trying. Like that kind of commitment. Level 7, playing full out. Even when you feel overwhelmed, even when you feel stuck, you remain committed to the dream, you remain committed to the goal, and you have made a covenant with yourself that you will never, ever, ever give up. You might take a detour, right? Because failure is also a part of the creation process, but you won't ever give up. You won't ever stop. All right? You will become unstoppable. You will decide to play the game at such a level that success is the only possible outcome. Next, I want you to commit to the process. Commit to the process, right? No matter what, let's go. If it's raining and I promise that I'm going to go out for a walk today, grab the umbrella. Let's go. If you overslept and you committed to going to the gym this morning to the 6 o'clock class, listen, go to the 7 o'clock class, or better yet, go at night, right? But keep your commitment to yourself. You have a covenant. When you decide, you create a covenant with yourself, especially if you know that you are working on purpose, that you're working in your purpose, then that covenant is not just with you, but it's with God, and it's with all the people that you're intended to serve. It's with all the people that are counting on you to create that thing that's going to change their lives, right? So I want you to commit to the process. Now, here's how you're going to map out your personal creation process. Let me bring that a little bit more so that you can see the full screen. There we go. Bear with me for a second, y'all. All right, so this is what you're going to do to map out your personal creation process. So the first thing I need you to do, I hope that you already have a journal or a notebook. So I want you to take out your notebook and I want you to dream. I want you to dream big. I want you to think about what it is that you would create in your life if money was not an object, if time was not a problem, if you would never hear the word no, all you can hear is yes. If God told you, listen, you have a magic pen and everything that you write in this notebook is going to come to pass. Like, I want you to dream like that, right? And then I want you to pick one aspect of your dream, and I want you to actually identify the person or business who have already created what it is that you want. Listen, I know that we all are individuals, we all are unique, but the truth is that everything that we've ever gone through in life, everything that we've ever hoped to accomplish, somebody else has walked the journey. They've either written a book about it or they have spoken about it. But identify a person who has what you want to create, and figure out, how did they do it? Like, who are they? What characteristics did they establish in order to make that happen, right? I want you to think about it from that perspective. So for example, one of the things that I want in my life is I want to become a global philanthropist, right? That's one of my big dreams. In fact, for me, that's really my legacy, right? This is something that I am intending to create in my life. in memory of my son. Why is this thing not doing what I need it to do? All right. This is something that I'm wanting to create in my life in memory of my son through the Uriel Wisdom Foundation. And so when I was mapping out my own process, and I had to think about a person that I want to emulate, a person that I want to use as an inspiration, I chose Oprah, right? So Oprah, as you know, is a huge global philanthropist. She gives through her angel network, of course, through the amazing content that she creates, through her business ventures, but more importantly, through the school that she has created in Africa. She has one school and she supports a whole bunch of girls. They go through and she stays with them even after they graduate. And that's one of my big dreams. And so when I think about who Oprah had to be in order to manifest that, well, clearly she's kind and compassionate. Clearly she's giving. And she's also a very shrewd businesswoman. She knows how to build teams and she knows how to solve challenges, right? So these are characteristics that I looked at. And then I had to think about also what business moves did Oprah make, right? Certainly Oprah, I'm sure, had to learn how to manage her money very well, right? She shares stories about how when she first started as a philanthropist, she was just giving money away randomly without having any clear sense of the impact. And so she had to take a business approach to her philanthropy while still remaining compassionate and caring, right? So do you see what I did there? I picked one of my several dreams and I designed my own creation process map as a result, right? So let's go on to the next bit. So how to map out your creation process, right? Let me make this big again so you can see it. My goodness, Natasha, this is the day I should have asked you for support, right? But I really want you to see this diagram so that you get it. Hold on one second. Bear with me, y'all. I want you to see this diagram. There we go. All right, here we go. There we go. You can see it better now. Okay, the creation process. Remember I said your thoughts inspire, your thoughts trigger your emotions inspire your actions, and your actions produce your results. So here are a series of questions that I want you to ask yourself as you're mapping out your own creation process. So I want you to ask yourself, what thoughts and beliefs would align with what it is that you're trying to create, right? So for example, if you are trying to be like me, a global philanthropist, then I need to make sure that I'm thinking thoughts that support that. Like I want to be supportive, I want to be helpful, right? So think about the thoughts and beliefs that you need to have consistently in order to create what you want. And then I want you to write 5 affirmations that support those thought patterns. So for me, one of the affirmations that I have for myself is, I allow God to express his love, light, healing, and abundance in and through me, right? So I have made the commitment that I want God to flow his blessings, his abundance in me and through me into the world, right? So that thought pattern that I am a global philanthropist is supported by that one affirmation, right? So for emotions, I want you to ask yourself, how would a person thinking those thoughts feel? So when I think that I allow God to express his love, light, healing, and abundance in and through me, that makes me feel good. That makes me feel like I am in partnership with God. That makes me feel like I'm co-creating something really powerful. Like anytime I get anything, then I understand fully that it's going to flow through me out into the world. And so my arms are open to receive willingly from God, but at the same time, my heart is also open to give freely to the world, right? So think about the emotions that those aligned thoughts would produce. And then in terms of action, I want you to ask yourself, well, who do you need to become? What steps do you need to take to produce the results that you want to create? And I want you to be really, really specific, right? Note how much by when. So for example, with me wanting to be a global philanthropist, I have my affirmation to support that. I know that a person who's a global philanthropist, they are compassionate, they're kind, all of that stuff. But then now I need to figure out who do I need to become? Well, I need to become a more compassionate person. I need to be kind. I need to be generous. I need to be giving, right? In addition to that, I need to know how to manage my money wisely so that I not only create an overflow for myself, but I have a system and a structure in place where I can give to the world, right? So kind of outline all of that. And then of course, what thoughts, beliefs, and actions do you need to stop, start, or continue in order to crush your goals? So I'm gonna actually go back out so I can look at you when we talk about this thing, right? What thoughts do you need to have in order to stop, start, or crush your goals? That's a really important piece because, as I said before, your thoughts are an important part of the creation process. It's a critical part of the creation process. So if you know that you are looking to, if you know that you're looking to get a promotion and you go to work every day feeling like you don't want to be there and you're thinking those kind of thoughts, that's producing the result of you, that's creating this feeling of overwhelm and frustration, then that's not going to support you, right? So I need you to identify the thoughts, beliefs, and actions that you need to stop doing or start doing in order to get the results that you want, right? In order for you to crush your goals. And some things that you're doing are working really well for you. So what are those things? How can you continue to do them so that you can get the results that you want, right? And then in terms of the results, I want you to ask yourself, well, what are you trying to create? Like, be very, very specific, noting how much by when. And then I want you to write a result statement for the goal using this formula. I am so happy and excited that right? And then you would pull in the result. So for me, when I wrote my result statement, I actually have a note, a sticky note right in front of my bed on the closet door so that every time I lay down in bed, I can see it. And that note said, I am so happy and excited that I am now commissioner for the City of Lauderhill, seat 2. I wrote that statement and I read it every single day. And so said, so it is. I am now a commissioner in the City of Lauderhill for seat number 2. So you got to say what you want. You got to write it down. You got to say it out loud, but you got to do it with feelings, right? That's the part that's missing from the secret. They say for you to write down what you want, set your intention, and that's very important. But you have to also feel the emotions that you would feel when you have that thing that you're asking God for. Does that make sense? I know that this is a really complicated piece, and I perhaps should do a workshop just on this one slide. But this is how you can map out your own creation process. And it's really important, you guys, for you to do the internal work, because success and failure, as I said, start in the mind. As you're working towards a goal, there is the possibility of you transforming into the person who have the thing that you are asking God for. Because remember, you ask for it and it's already done, right? It is already done. They're just waiting for you to do the inside out transformation to manifest the thing that you're asking for. Okay, I hope that supports you. So now, how do you reverse engineer your creation process? Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to stop there because I don't want to overwhelm you. Let's stop there. let us stop there. Let me check in to see how you guys are doing. All right. Good morning. I have been missing you because I've been so busy on my side. Listen, Sister Wiley, I have not been as consistent with the show as I should be. I've been caught up in a community needs assessment process for my community, so I haven't been as consistent, but I'm back on track. All right, so we're in this thing together. Keep joining me. We're going to continue to unpack the series. And good morning, Miss Joy. Thank you so much. Global philanthropist. Yes, ma'am. That is my big dream. I want to give away $1 million. That's my big dream. I want the Uriel Wisdom Foundation to give away $1 million. I want to build the Uriel Center for Children and Families in Jamaica. And I want the Hibiscus Girls Leadership Academy to be more than a mentorship program. I want it to grow into a physical school for girls so that they can go on to become extraordinary women. That's my big dream. Partnering with God, thoughts you must have to produce results that you want. Absolutely. You're not doing it by yourself. You're doing it as a part of a co-creation process. And you have to say what you want with feelings, Miss Joy. So true. So I felt like I was really giving a lot and I don't want to overwhelm you. So I'm going to pick up with the reverse engineering part of the process next Wednesday. But here's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to go back and watch the replay. And I want you to take out your journal and I want you to pick one of the things that I mentioned today. In part one, how to leverage your creation process, I gave you 3 steps. So I want you to think about that and perhaps map out your own creation process for your life, right? What are you dreaming? What are you asking for? What is your big dream? And once you've identified and you've picked that one thing, map it out, right? Put it up so that you can see it. I promise you this process works. I've done it for myself. You know, I have created this for myself. Look at this. I'm now the commissioner of a city running against an incumbent that everybody said would win. Everybody. A lot of seasoned elected officials told me that there's no way that I would ever win in that particular race. But with God's help and a really strong team, I did. And that's because I did the work internally in order for me to step into that part of my destiny. So I encourage you to do the same. Thank you, Ms. Joy. I appreciate you. And I really love the text that you send me in the mornings. Thank you so much for that. All right, ladies, please, if you enjoy this video, like and share, follow this channel if you haven't already done so. And I'll be back here at 9 o'clock on Monday, introducing you to another Lauderhill business. Remember, be kind and loving to yourself today. You deserve it. Be well.